Hello, thank you.
Yeah, yours okay? All right, cool.
Right here is where you want me? Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to say my piece and get this off my chest.
Sure, I'd love to discuss what happened on that trip. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, no, this is perfect. I'm glad we're here to talk about it. I'd really like to shed some light on the situation. So, thank you for doing this.
So I got to Puerto Vallarta a day before Gina and Jamesy. And when I got there, I checked into my hotel. Okay, fine, you caught me. Check into my hotel is code 4. Went on Grinder. I'm a skank. I did hook up with someone. Can't help it. So I did get Puerto Vallarta dick within 2 hours of landing. After that, I walked around. I went to a restaurant, ate waffles and breakfast burritos. It was delicious. 5 out of 5 kisses. Went to Mantamar Beach Club. I grabbed my book and I read my book while just, relaxing on the beach club. I went back to my hotel room, and guess who I run into? Nikki Boyer. Oh my god, Nikki Boyer. The Frisky Frisco's invited her to go to PV. So coincidentally, I just ran into her. She was going to the rooftop of my hotel. I met the Frisky Frisco's, and the Frisky Frisco's were crotch watching me. As I mentioned, I was coming from the beach club, and I did have the teeniest, tiniest of shorts. Can't help that. They crotch watched, and I just said, and then I got a message from James and Gina saying that they would be arriving shortly.
I think it's important to understand how I got there.
Well, the first thing you have to understand is the journey that James and I even took to get to Puerto Vallarta in the first place.
I meet Gina in Phoenix and we fly together all the way to Puerto Vallarta. And we're sat in different aisles, and I'm sat sandwiched in between Vivian and Jean. I came to know them by the end of the flight.
I think I'm going on vacation with a New Yorker.
They tell me that they're actually in Puerto Vallarta for an entire month. They are retired, they come here and they do this in different countries. They're part of this, it was some president, I don't even know.
I didn't know he was going to bring this Midwest mentality, trying to talk to everybody and make friends along the way.
JFK reservation, and they're going, they go to different places.
Do you know what that was like for me?
They were really interesting, and we stayed friends, I think.
I was traumatized right off the bat.
We landed in customs in Puerto Vallarta, and that was rough.
You think it's just a quick little flight, but when we exited those plane doors, the line for customs was so long, it probably took us the same amount as the actual flight did.
That was rough. We were there for about 4 hours. We got through it. Gina and I got through it. So finally, we end up getting a taxi out of the airport. We get to our hotel, and it's this cute little hotel at the bottom of a hill, and we walk in, and our room is right by the entrance, and there's no door. It's like an open arch, like an open lobby. So it's kind of like our door leads directly to the street.
James and I were on the first floor in a pretty high traffic area of the hotel, so we had to barricade our door shut when we went to sleep at night. So there was our mini fridge up against the door.
We pushed the refrigerator in front of the door
with a chair on top of that.
And we stack the dining set chair on top of it. It was a cute moment for us, and also a security measure.
They're staying at a different location. It's like a 7-minute walk away from my hotel room. So I grabbed my bonnet. I walked over there. And the first person I see is Gina, and I yell her name.
Victor finally meets us. He's wearing a bonnet in our hotel.
And he comes in wearing a bonnet.
She sees my bonnet, we embrace. We go to her hotel room, and I see Jamesy, we embrace too. Yeah, looking back at it, it was nice.
Now you might be thinking, after that long trip through customs, there's no way that the night is going to continue, but the night continued.
That evening was about to take a turn.
We go to this dinner place and get tacos. So this is going to become more relevant later too, but I suffer from poop anxiety. So when I get on a plane, I'm not shitting for 18 hours afterward. So when we decide to get tacos right after this plane ride, I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to brew something up. And I did, and we'll get back to that.
So we go to our first restaurant and we think, oh, let's just order a couple drinks. And the next thing I know, we're getting tequila shots with our tacos.
I may have pushed Gina and James's liver to the limit. I'm kind of guilty of shoving shots of tequilas in their faces.
And I'm on my way to getting drunk.
I shouldn't have done it, but I kept giving her shots anyway. Did I care? Yeah, I cared, but it was my birthday, and I was just like, I'm the leader of the group now. Shots, 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 shots. Shots.
We get shots at dinner and we decide, let's go to a drag bar.
So we go to 2 different drag bars the first night.
There's a drag queen inside. Bitch, this was like a fucking siren calling me home to the ocean. She's inside and she goes, come, come.
The first was where we met Wendy Warhol.
Wendy Warhol was spectacular.
Wendy Warhol is an amazing drag queen in Puerto Vallarta.
This bitch was running the entire bar by herself.
She was on this like 2 foot by 2 foot stage. I mean, it was like small.
The platform they had built for her in the bar was made from the leftover wood of Jesus's manger, I think. It was very makeshift. It looks like my dad built it in our garage, and she was doing heel clack jump splits, somersaults on it.
She was up there doing splits, jumps, choreo, sometimes lip syncing, sometimes singing.
So God bless that woman.
Wendy could do it all.
You know who else I ran into in the Puerto Vallarta bar? The Wendy Williams. Not the, how you doing? Her name is Wendy Williams, and she lives in New York. I think she like works in education or something. But she was very sweet. We're going out to dinner next week.
We did eventually leave the location where Wendy Warhol was performing. I believe the bar was called La Noche.
We leave La Noche.
After La Noche, we went to Pancho's bar.
We went over to Paco's Ranch for another drag show.
There was a drag shows, dancers.
Real talk celebrity this time. Actual Tina Turner comes out. I didn't believe it, but that bitch looked sickening.
Now, this drag show had not just drag queens that were impersonating Tina Turner, Lady Gaga. They also had backup dancers.
Go-go dancers. It was amazing. It was beautiful.
There's also a guy in this bar that I'm having eye sex with the entire night. And I keep telling Victor and Gina, like, that guy, him and I are connecting. And it's literally me across the bar going like this.
The night starts to get a little hazy for me because Victor continued ordering tequila shots.
Victor has shots coming at this point.
I did keep shoving more shots in their faces.
I'm not really a shot kind of gal. I do better with mixed drinks. And I didn't have the opportunity to turn it down. And if I'm being completely honest, the shots that I had already done were giving me encouragement to continue.
I'm numbed over. I'm off a plane ride all day. My stomach is churning with tacos and shit. And I say, keep them coming, baby.
It was a great evening.
Needless to say, I did not feel great the next morning.
Sorry.
The toilet situation.
I'm not going to disclose any information, but that Puerto Vallarta toilet has seen some things.
This is where I start to get nervous again, because I believe Gina was the first one to suffer from the pain of the Puerto Vallarta toilet. And after that happened, and after that problem was there, I still hadn't shit. So I'm thinking at this point, when this baby comes out, we're gonna have a problem. Someone's gotta call an ambulance.
I don't know if that's why it got clogged, okay? I feel like we were set up. I feel like the toilet was already stacked against us.
So Gina and I, at one point in the trip, are not even using the bathroom in our room anymore. We are going to the public bathrooms outside, like in the hotel, because I don't know. Let's not get it.
And the toilet never really recovered, even until the day we left. Thank you for the support. I know this is a really hard time.
Sorry, Gina, if you're watching this, I love you, but sorry about that. Sorry to Jamesy too. Yes.
I have to talk to my lawyer.
The next morning, we were messaging each other, and I guess Gina had a tummy situation. I don't know what it could have been. I don't think it was the plethora of shots that I gave her. No, I don't think so.
So the next morning when I wasn't feeling so good, we just went up to the roof, ordered some burgers and fries. I took a nap in the sun, and by the time Victor met up with us, we were ready to go to the beach.
We all went to Mantamar. This is the beach club that Ross got married in.
It's a hotel where Ross got married, actually. It was the beach club at the bottom. So that was fun for us.
And it was beautiful weather.
We go to Mantamar. I get a little fuzzy here because we've been drinking from pretty early. We're hungover from the last day.
Gonna be honest, that day gets a little hazy. I did tell Victor I can't do any more tequila shots.
She gave me a warning that she can no longer partake in the tequila shots that I kept insisting on. So no tequila shots on that day, no. Mm-mm.
But the mix of kind of being hungover and going right into drinking.
All I remember is being in the big pool.
I just remember showing my boob to a homosexual man in the pool.
And I turn around and Gina has shown her tit to some of the gay men in the pool.
I don't have any further comments on that matter. Thank you.
I think it was good for them. I think it was healthy for them. There was a lot of gay male energy, and I think they needed to see a boob that day.
After Mantamar, we all went to our hotel rooms, got ready, and we walked to this bar.
So I believe this is the night we were at a bar drinking these giant margaritas.
The name of it escapes me.
We're in another bar, getting another margarita.
Huge margaritas. This is not, like your average margarita glass. It was like bowls, like gallons.
I mean, giant margaritas.
And the margaritas are like this big.
It was really nice. We just hung out, talked about life and shit.
Victor is sat sandwiched in between Gina and I.
Victor's sitting in between James and I.
If Victor gets a tap on the shoulder.
The man who taps his shoulder, it threw us all off.
You're asking about what happened at the bar? I'm sorry, but I spoke with production ahead of time and said that I don't want to discuss this. Can we cut? Fine. I'll talk about what happened at the bar. So we're at the bar, minding our own business. We're talking about friendship and love and life. The next thing I know, there was a man behind me.
And we turn around. It's this strange man.
And he asked me, hold on, I can't. Ask me, are you Jose?
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 What did that mean?
Am I Jose?
The fuck? That's Victor.
Am I Jose?
So I'm like, Victor, do you have a grinder date you're going on? Do you know this man? And are you Jose?
I guess we'll never know.
I said country baby homemade in Cleveland. I don't think so. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not Jose. I am not Jose. I will never be Jose. You wish I was Jose. And he left.
I think, though, the Jose's are the friends that we met along the way.
Looking back at this, I don't think I'm still traumatized about what happened.
We needed some food, so we stopped at a place called the Beach Spot.
We went to a restaurant called the Beach Spot.
And it ended up being a lot cuter and like vibey than we thought. It was actually on the beach, so we got to like walk and sit at a table on the beach.
We sat at a table by the beach, and we just talked about everything.
We split some fajitas. It was a nice moment, but the dinner conversation quickly turned raunchy.
It did quickly turn into Gina asking questions about what gay sex is like.
I asked a lot of questions about gay men homosexual sex. No, I know about lesbian homosexual sex, but it is different, you know, different parts, different holes being utilized.
It was very informative.
I learned a lot. I didn't know about the tons of prep work, no pun intended, that goes into preparing.
A little shocking.
I was not aware of the the sexual dynamics of tops versus bottoms, and I'm happy to say I was able to bring back a lot of research and information for my podcast, Sapphic Survival Guide, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
And we got really close with the owners and the staff of the restaurant. We'll definitely be back there, and we hope everyone in UBC will be able to join us.
Now, we had had a lot of sun and a lot of drinks all day, and the decisions that we made that night were a result of that combination. We decided from there to look for strip clubs.
We went to the strip club, and it was amazing.
When we first entered the strip club, I actually didn't see any penises at all, but somebody did touch my ass.
It was my first time being in a strip club.
So we get seated, and if there's one thing that I could say that's different from this strip club from any other ones I've gone to, it's that people were not tipping. And that's a thing when you go to strip clubs. Like, you need to tip. So because we were just throwing, you know, pesos out, we got a lot of attention.
There's a lot of hot guys there, and their dicks were out.
I had not seen a penis in the flesh since 2018. That changed that day.
I don't remember much. I touched a penis, I think, and then I itched my eye and was immediately struck with anxiety about that.
I think I saw 5 in person, and they were erect. Yeah. Yeah. There was a stage where there were some dancers, and those were the ones I enjoyed watching. The ones that came over to our table, they did make me a little nervous. There was a guy who had taken Victor and I's hands and was rubbing it down his abs towards his penis. And I just remember thinking, please don't make me touch your penis. Please don't make me touch your penis.
And all I kept thinking was, please let me see it. Please let me touch it. Please, please. Por favor.
I did get one lap dance that I enjoyed from a stripper. He kind of got like fully on top of me and put my hands behind my head and was kind of grinding on me, and I thought, this is nice, because his penis wasn't out, his dick was away. And then he put out his tongue, and without thinking, I put out my tongue and I touched tongues with the stripper. This was the most interaction I've had with men in a sexual setting in a long time.
There was one point where Gina is sandwiched in between me and Victor and I are both getting simultaneous lap dances.
Victor and James are on both sides of me at some point getting individual lap dances, and I didn't want to look directly at them, despite the fact that when men were dancing on me, they were staring at me. But I know strip club etiquette, and this was their first time, so I gave them a pass and I let them do their thing. And I just looked straight ahead while these men were on top of my friends next to me.
It was very hot. It was very sexy. My hand went a lot of places. His hands went places. And I wish I was more present in the moment. And I wish I was more present in how sexy it was. But all I was thinking the entire time was, oh my God, I feel so bad for Gina. She's in between me and Victor, like having sex with these men. We were not having sex with these men. You know who was having sex? The guy who was getting his ass eaten next to Victor.
At one point when Victor was to my left, there were two gentlemen to his left who had put this big display of putting on these big boots. And then he bent over, and I believe that this older gentleman was eating his ass about 6 inches away from Victor. Overall, I think that the strip club experience was a bonding one. I'm happy it happened.
Yeah, it was a great time at the strip club. Yes, it was really good. Thank you.
I found this to be great anthropological research.
After that, we went to Cookie's karaoke bar. I've never done karaoke before, so shots of tequilas were required. Gina and James, their performance was just like really phenomenal work. And then it was my turn, and I sang Dancing Queen by ABBA. You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17. Yes, it was a good performance. Thank you.
The next morning, unfortunately, it was James who was not feeling quite as good.
We go to sleep, and the next morning, I'm sick as hell. And this is when I take my first poop of the trip.
Again, our toilet in our hotel room, it saw a lot of things coming out a lot of different places from both James and myself.
If toilets had human rights, I would be put in prison for life. I'd be put in prison for life.
Now, the last day, none of us wanted to drink as much, but we did go back to the beach party, and we had a really fun beach day. This is where I made James into a merman, and we were doing cartwheels on the beach.
Gina taught me how to cartwheel on the beach that day. It was such a nice day. We took some pictures on the rocks. It was so cute.
It was probably the most wholesome part of our trip. I will say I had, puffy puffed my pen a little bit, so I was feeling a little goofy. And I was just like kind of goofing around on the sand with James and Victor. And again, we were doing cartwheels and stuff.
And then I gave a show for some old men that were watching us.
We noticed a couple older gentlemen in Speedos who were clearly getting a show out of our beach day. They were staring intensely at us for like an hour or two. And right before we left, James decided to like flash a little, and that clearly freaked him out, because then they like scurried away.
I did show them my tit. I wish I showed them my ass. I should have showed them my dick.
It was pretty satisfying, if I do say so myself, as a Gemini rising. After our beach day, we decided to go back to that same beach spot that we had had dinner at the night before.
We went to the beach spot again.
So I didn't mention this the first time. When we went to the beach spot the night before, as we are all leaving, the host gives Victor a hug. Thank you so much for coming. Gives Gina a hug. Thank you so much for coming. Gives me a hug and goes, do you want me to crack your back?
This is where the love story between James and Abe started. That's Big Dick Abe. Yes, that's the same guy, yeah.
He cracks my back. It is euphoric. And so now we're back to present day. We go back to the beach spot and I see him and I go, oh my God, I've been looking for you all day. I need my back cracked, because at that point, him cracking it made me remember how good it felt having not had my back cracked for a few days. So I was like, I need it. He cracks my back, I think almost immediately after we sit down at the table. And that's when we really start hitting it off.
I don't really know when James and Abe started hitting it off. It might have been when we first walked in. It might have been later. I just remember at some point there was shoulder rubbing and flirting going on.
I forget how it even transpired. It was something about like him cracking my back and positions, and he was like, you want me to bend you some way? I forget. But then I go, hold on. What's your name anyway? And he goes, oh, my name's Abraham. You can call me Abe, Poppy, Big Dick Al. Call you whatever you want me to call you. Big Dick Al and I are really hitting it off. He is giving me back massages at the table. He's telling me that he's gonna bend me over things and break my back. And again, this is happening in front of Gina and Victor at the table. Like, Abe and I are having sex on top of the dinner table.
I think that Abe even gave James his address.
He gave me his address, and did I think about going that night? Yes. Was I going to? No. Because A, I'm not leaving Gina alone in the sus-ass hotel room in Puerto Vallarta. And B, I just told you I have shit problems on this trip, so I can't bottom. You think Big Dick A is a verse stop? Hold the phone.
There was a point when James was getting a little jealous because I believe Abe gave shoulder rubs to another customer.
This motherfucker goes to another table, starts back massaging another gang.
James kind of thought that was their thing. So that was their first couples fight right there in front of me and Victor at dinner. But they did get through it. And I really believe in their future. The dinner was delicious also, and we had some really great live music, and we were just really feeling, like this was such a great end to a great vacation. We signed the board there, the wall there, and we were just feeling really connected, as a trio.
After we left the restaurant and they closed up, we were the last people in there after we signed the wall. We were walking around PV a little more, and before we went to bed, I was like, guys, maybe I just want to poke Big Dick A one more time and see how he is. We stopped by the restaurant, and the security person who's there closing the gate is like, oh, sorry, we're closed. And we're like, oh, okay, no problem. And he goes, oh, are you here for Abe? And I was like, no. I was going to try to blow him in the bathroom.
No, we were leaving the next day, so I believe we went to drag just for, a hot minute.
And we kept it pretty low-key because my flight was early.
And then we all decided that we would just, spend our last couple of pesos, head back to the hotel, and get a good night's sleep before our flights the next day.
Yeah, it was time to go home. You're asking why I have a little smile on my face? I did hook up with someone again because I'm a skink. And this person knows Ross Matthews. So on Grindr, you have the option of including your social media in your profile. So my Instagram is included there, and he started following me and looking through my profile, and he said to me, "Hey, you know Ross Matthews. You were in a podcast with Ross Matthews. I know Ross Matthews." And I was like, "Oh my God, sir, you do. I love that you love Ross Matthews." But he said, "No, I do not love Ross Matthews." I was like, oh. He said, "Ross annoys me. He's in Palm Springs, and all he talks about is my husband, my doctor this, my doctor that, wah, wah, wah. My doctor is a blah, blah, blah." And I was just like, "Sir, stop. Stop it right now." And he stopped. We got in my bed, and I started sucking his dick, and yeah.
Then we went home.
Then I went to the airport, went home, and I've had Puerto Vallarta depression ever since.
It was a gorgeous trip. Oh my God, it was a gorgeous trip. It was so nice getting to meet Victor for the first time. It was a gorgeous bonding moment for now us three New Yorkers.
I'm happy to say that overall, the trip did not cause too much trauma. I did enjoy myself despite the 5 penises.
There are a lot of things I would have done different. I would have touched twice as many penises in that strip club. I would have touched Big Dick Al's dick twice as many times. I know 2 times 0 is 0, but like +2 and then ×2. But other than that, wouldn't change a thing.
Would I go again? Would I do it again? Absolutely. In fact, I don't think I'd change a single thing.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, letting us discuss this trip. And we hope that everyone in UBC will be able to accompany us, and we can, just have fun together. But we did think about everyone um, while we were spending time together.
It was a weekend to remember.